Nite L.O.A.D. Late Nite L.O.A.D. Late Nite L.O.A.D. With Wookie and Leprechaun. Late Nite L.O.A.D. Late Nite L.O.A.D. Late Nite L.O.A.D. Late Nite L.O.A.D. With Wookie and Leprechaun.
Hey guys, it's me, Web C, and you caught me trying to get everybody onto the show. I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties with the Model Rocketeer, but he will get it sorted out. Go grab some peas, brother. Ice that phone. And then, yeah, so here we are. It is Friday night's edition of the Late Night Load. And I'm Web C. I'm in the workshop doing things. We got the Wicked Wookie coming in. Hey, how's it going there, Wookie?
Not too bad, not too bad.
All right. And yeah, we're just waiting on everybody to file in to hang out. And yeah, here we are on the Late Night Load. I'm just going to keep plugging away at this project I'm working on while we get going and stuff. I got everything all pretty much ready. Oh, I got to switch over from the Friday Night Kit Bash themes, though, and switch to our new theme. So which one do you like? Do you like the one where Lodi is on the outside by the L? Or do you like the one where Lodi is in the circle like Porky Pig?
I like the second one.
The second one? Okay. Because either way works for me. That's why I made both. I was like, well, we can go back and forth or, whatnot. But, yeah, so there's that. I'll have some images and stuff. Your breath stank. Babies, you need to go lay down. Go on. Go with mom. She's got the smells for you. I'm going to load my phone back in, and we are going to also be looking at some pretty interesting stuff on my phone. A news article popped up today that was just so darn intriguing. I had to share it with the guys right away when I first saw it because it was just something you don't normally see or hear about. This is something very random. So when we get into it, we'll get into it. But let's hope the rest of the team shows up here. Yeah. So we're just waiting to hear back from Leprechaun and the Model Rocketeer. He's going to probably jump in over on the view side for a minute, hit us up in the chat box, and then we are going to roll on through to the other side. Roll on through to the other side. Hail, hail, come and get your love. All right, so that's where I'm at with everything. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to use my brain a little bit. It's not very good. Don't judge me. Oh, it is open. Share time. There we go. Now we're starting to look like a production team. Okay. Let's see if we can find some. Oh, hey, it's my buddy Dan Hurd. I like that guy. Ooh, live? Let's just here. We'll start the show off this way tonight. The live. This is brought to us by. Let's double check that real quick before we go too far. The Real PAX is still streaming the comet, the 50,000 year comet. Okay, so this thing flies past us every 50,000 years once. Like that's how it works. Is it goes around? It's got an orbit to where we only see it once every 50,000 years. So, it's crazy. They said that there's a possibility that like there was a totally different civilization that existed when this thing was around last time, or that the dinosaurs may have still roamed the earth at that point in time, or we were in the middle of an ice age, or we were, there's so many different not perfect answers, but they're definitely theories or thoughts that people are having on what happened when this actually passed us up the last time it passed us up. But they do know it's on a 50,000 year orbit. But to us, 50,000 years ago, we don't actually have any recorded data on that, right? We don't have an exact say so. Like,
Yeah.
um, all history books don't date that far back. So, um, that's that is the all big question there. Yep, getting feedback. I hate the feedback, Andrew. What's going on with that?
Better?
La la. I'm gonna be like that the kids in that movie with Whoopi Goldberg. You'll be like la 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 la. Everybody can hate me and shoot me later. Where's Leprechaun? Leprechaun should be showing up. I hope he shows up. We got loads to talk about. He seemed interested in tonight's show. He knows we got a show tonight. I'm pretty sure he knows. Um, let me uh let me just go and send out that invite real quick. One more time. Oh man, I feel like I got dry nose. I don't know how else to say it. Like I feel stuffed, but at the same time, it's like, here we go. Anyways, okay, gonna paste that to these guys. Now all three of you are gonna get that message. Message.
Ding.
Oh god. Yeah. All right, and then yeah. So here we are, just checking out this footage of this comet that's just passing through. Just ah, ah. It's gonna be that way for a while. I guess it's gonna be. They said half of its tail like broke off or something. Like there was a report that like something had changed, like as it was passing through, something broke off or something changed about its tail as it passed us. So that's different and that's worrisome. I'd be worried about what that was. I don't know. Don't take my word for it, but just saying. I have a I have a feeling that that's something I would think about. I would look into it at least, see if anything came from it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a rocket scientist, but pretty sure things aren't supposed to fall off comets.
No, exactly. Like the tails aren't supposed to change shape. Once they get going and they got a tail, it pretty much stays the same. So they said this is the first time the like because apparently they've been watching it through the telescopes or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Hey, we got our background music back finally. Let's see if it sounds better. Oh, background music is provided by Extreme.io. And yeah, there we go. We can just chill while we serenade you with the chill hop of Restream.io. And we'll have a good time. You're listening to WebC Official, the Late Night Load. Our sponsors Clarksville Hobby Depot LLC, the Model Rocketeer, and, Associated Sites, Kipesh Kundum, Fender Bangers RC, WebC Official, The Wicked Wookie. All right, and there we go. And we will have some more affiliations coming your way. This has been a radio announcement. Now we can just turn that off, right? There we go. That's how you do that, right? Be weird about it? Then we don't need to be weird about it. But that song was like weird. That song like inspired me to go, yeah, let's do a quick little buzz commercial. Buzz commercial. I like using those fake radio voices. They're fun. We're gonna jam. Oh no, Bart Simpson lost his mind. Ooh, he's a mascot of an evil corporation. Ah. Oh, don't get mad, Disney. Don't get mad. Yeah. Waiting on other people? No? I think Carrie got frustrated. We'll see him. So we should just run the ticker tape for a little bit while we're at it. Ticker tape is always good. I have to teach myself how to do this all over again, but I was going to make saw spikes for the shredder helmet. But I'm looking at this and I'm like trying to see how much space is there going to be on the build. I just worry that I'm just going to be adding too much. So these saw blades are going to be really small. But I'm going to do it and it's going to look cool.
That's a high grade kit that you were working on, right?
Oh yeah, dude. I'm one of those people that likes to add the detail to the high grade kit. So this is exactly what I'm all about. So, and I just thought it was fun. Like, it's a good break from Gundam, like building a mono eye kit, a Xeon kit. It's a good break from building Gundams, because like when you build so many Gundams and GMs and stuff, you'll start to get wore out on the design aspects of it. It's just like it doesn't thrill you as much. But dude, over the winter break or whatever for the kids, hey, somebody's hopping in. All right, how's it going?
It's chicken cutlets tonight for cooling.
Chicken cutlets, okay. You better double wrap it. No.
I did. Right? No doubt, dude. You don't want to catch something, syphilitis or something. But yeah, I ate the peas. I was out of broccoli, man. I had to pull out the cutlets, man.
Okay. So yeah, we're just the real PAX is still filming the 50,000 year comet. So I figured we would watch a little bit of that and just get caught up on some things and just talking about this kit I'm still working on. I'm slowly looking at things and stuff. I want to work on the helmet for a little bit here. So I was thinking about working on what we talk and stuff and when we go through things. So some of the things we're going to talk about tonight, we got quite a few little bit news items that we're going to bring up. These are happening now. Okay, so I'm not sure what the deal is with these happening now. They may be real, they may be not. They definitely aren't conspiracy. They're floating around on mainstream, which is interesting.
That's the Andrew's back.
What's that?
Leprechaun here?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I don't think he's popped in yet. So he did get the invite. So I'm not sure what he's up to. He might have fallen asleep. He might be trying to get his kids to bed or get them to actually go to sleep so he can pop in. So he knows we got a show. So if he can make it,
I have these rubber bands holding the chicken cutlets up. And it was covering everybody's. That's the Andrew. Okay, I didn't see. I just didn't know.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Yeah, so try to get tuned up, get ready for this crazy stuff. I guess this is this is the equivalent of late night. Yeah, so we can use swear words and do adult things.
Oh yeah, we can still use swear words and stuff. Just now we have a direction for what our talking points are now. That's all.
Right.
So, that 3D thing I got, the 3D pen I got for Christmas from my wife and kids, it welds pretty nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So you can kind of do some welding with it and stuff.
I think you'll deep lines and sand them down.
Yeah, well, the only thing is if you put too much pressure, it snaps apart. So it does hold it, while it holds it together, it can very easily snap it apart. So that's one thing that I did not like about it. So, I don't know. It was all trial and error, experimenting. I'm going to try with a different plastic, though. So the plastic that I was using for the melting and as the weld was a plant-based PLA, or yeah, but they make this gun can also do ABS. So I'm gonna order maybe a small roll of ABS and see if the ABS does a better weld than the PLA does, because the ABS has to operate at a higher temperature anyways. So that's what I was going to try next. But yeah, there's a bunch of cool colors and stuff with that thing.
The ABS you may get a better bond and a better melt with it.
Yeah. Oh man, my wife just made me coffee. That evil woman, I can smell it. All right. I love her so much. All right. Yeah. So, all right. The first topic we're gonna bring up, I have it screenshotted on my phone. All right, you guys. So
Yeah, this is, I don't know, man. I got some theories. Let's get it.
all right. Okay, so the original speculation from the first two reports that I seen about this were Mars has volcanic activity, and boom, we have clouds on Mars.
Can you take your
Now
reference to information?
that's the first.
Alongside this?
Okay, so this reference was this is actually from Secure Team 10. My first reference that I got this from is from my guy, the guy where I get a lot of my UFO knowledge from. Is his name is Tyler, and he runs the Secure Team 10 site over on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, I think Twitch as well. He's a really great guy. So if you got time and you watch his stuff, go donate to his page, dude. He's a great guy. Support him. Anyways, so he usually gets us good information. His initial report said mysterious activity. Could it be volcanoes? Could it be a fire? That's what his speculations were. Later on today, Forbes and I just looked at it. Hold on, I can show you. I was just sourcing it. So Forbes and the Sun. So I just read Forbes's article and I read the Sun's article. So there's already a cover op going on, and what I mean by that is these two articles are exactly the same. Different websites, different places, different countries, but these two articles are 100% exactly the same. And so the cover up op is already going on. What they're saying in this cover up op is some wind blew by one of the big mountains and knocked some ice crystals off the mountains, and the ice crystals turned into clouds. And then that's what it is. That's what the cover op is. Okay, so that's what the cover up is. I don't know if there's any other op or anything.
Yeah, because what we're gonna do. We're trying to get everybody look between the lines. Chime in, tell us what you think, man. Everybody's opinion is important as mine, And Mike, this is what we're doing. We're here to just figure this out.
Yeah. It's hard to say if it is volcanic. If it is volcanic in nature. But yeah, there's clearly something going on. And I don't think I don't think that's just ice crystals. Doesn't really seem to make sense to me. Because one of the things that is weird is because with Mars's orbit around the sun, it's hot, like ridiculously hot there. Like, this is one of the problems of us going to Mars is how do we once we're there, how do we deal with the temperatures on the ground? So, ice crystals in an extremely hot place.
Well,
Somebody
Mars
wanna-
isn't hot. Okay, Mars is cold, actually. Okay, so Mars is further away from the sun. Mercury is closer to the sun, so Mercury's hotter. But
Oh, okay.
Mars
Sorry.
Mars is the one that's on the other side of the Goldilocks zone. So we're more closer to the middle inside of the Goldilocks zone, and Mars is just hanging out right there at the very edge of the Goldilocks zone. And we could like develop like some big rocket to push Mars just a little bit in, and it would just like make another perfect planet for us to live on. So that that's how prime Mars is for us to go out there and start experimenting on. Now, if everything that science is saying, okay, so you two weren't here yesterday, but we watched a documentary about on the new theories of like gravitational pulls and dark holes and matter and everything like that. We watched this like whole new thing because the James Webb Space Telescope had a whole bunch of shit going on with it that it released for data. And in that data, basically they suggest that the stars and black holes are not allowing galaxies to expand. So Earth will not drift away from the sun. Earth will drift into the sun. Okay? That's the only way it will work. That's the only way it's going to work. Or Earth will eventually drift into the sun. So if Mars is further out from Earth, then actually our prime planet zero should have been Mercury. We should be looking at Mercury, but it's too hot to go to, right?
Right.
So that's one of those weird things. So when we look at Mars, to travel to Mars, well, to colonize Mars is the right idea because that'll be the next planet to go into the sun after the Earth. So it will have some time, right? It'll have a longer transcendence through the Goldilocks zone of the sun. And then as Earth is transcending out of the Goldilocks zone, that's how we'll be able to make that shift. So that's something to look at. That's an interesting thought pattern process, if you will. I like it. So this, though, I'm going to have to actually go with its volcanic activity. Because what we're seeing is the cloud doesn't come up high because Mars has no atmosphere, right? Like Mars is literally, it's worse than the moon. It's got no atmosphere to speak of. And so that cloud is sticking really low down. But I think that just because of that doesn't make it seem like, or doesn't mean that it's ice particles, right? If dust is being stirred up by volcanic activity, I think it could actually just be a dust cloud because it's got a brownish, it's got a brownish color in all the pictures. It's got like a brownish color to the cloud. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially where it dissipates off here in the tail of this cloud, like where if the first amount of the stuff, like it looks like dust, but because there's low atmosphere, the dust doesn't dissipate as fast, giving it further to travel. And I think that also would be indicative of like tectonic volcanic activity and not fire related, just it's just kicking up dust from shifting around. So something shifting around down there is all I think.
Yeah, and that's completely legitimate thought process. Like, it's logical, it makes sense. I just don't think I agree with the ice theory.
No, I can't really buy that one either. Especially that
object and impact on the surface.
Yeah, especially since as soon as I look into the story and I go into the next article and the next article, I'm reading the same article over and over again. That always makes me go, yeah, something's a little bit suspect or suspenseful about it. At least you should be weary about the information that you're being fed, right? They feed it to you enough times, you think it's good.
Yeah, even as far as it goes, like, okay, it may not be volcanic in nature. It could have been a meteor strike that's just kicked up a ton of dust, right?
Well, that's a possibility too.
I think something more like human-made been fucking around with, and we have been fucking around with for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We got evidence of some kind of crash.
Yep. All right. Are you guys ready for this next one? This next one is wild, okay? Like, don't hate me for this. This next one is just straight wild.
Here, let's do this. Yeah, the ice thing is bizarre as hell. That's bullshit. I'm just gonna call bullshit on the ice theory. On that story. So I just want to hear you guys talk about it. The first thing in my mind was that's entry. That's entry and crash. In there.
Well, even when you zoomed in on that one picture, it kind of looked like there was almost like an impact crater, right? And in the center was where whatever it was kind of coming up through there, or through the Mars atmosphere.
Yeah. It looks like
all right.
A volume.
Yeah.
It's like into the atmosphere where it's supposed to debate.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it might have smoke. There might be, it could have been a fire, but we're not sure if the atmosphere could, habitate if like fire or not just yet. We don't really know that shit. But yeah, that's really tell you, man, they crashed up there. All right, Michael, you got that.
All right. So, have you guys seen these reports yet?
Yeah.
About this balloon. Okay. So, the craziest story I've heard so far is this balloon is tracking a live Bigfoot.
That would be awesome. I would totally buy
that. That is like, what I'm trying to find where this is one of these reports I saw earlier. It said that it was tracking, like they were like it's track, but it's a balloon. It's artificial or whatever. And they're like, we spotted it over the U.S. and everybody's watching it. It's like the whole world is watching it, like, and it's out there. Like, we can't hide it. There's nothing to hide. Like, even the U.S. government said,
I don't think it's necessarily a balloon, because it's literally not moving.
Right.
Well,
it says it's moving. It's got a path of movement.
Well, I don't think extraterrestrial is definitely man-made, because extraterrestrials use things that are more complex than just spheres, I feel. This is just the attempts of all the technology we've been culminating for 100 years. They're trying to reveal shit. And then, again, on top of that, Bigfoot can't be tracked, everybody. Nobody can track Bigfoot. He's still out there.
Balloon the size of 3 Greyhound buses that entered U.S. airspace and appears to have been sent to spy on sensitive sites in Montana, one of 3 areas where the U.S. houses intercontinental ballistic missiles. The military has been tracking the balloon for the past several days.
China's reminded us that they really are an adversary. And remember, this is just a very visible sign of the most comprehensive penetration of American society and our history.
The Pentagon says it acted immediately to protect
always got to
sensitive
check and see if he's a lizard person.
F-22 fighter jets enclosing the airport at Billings, Montana for several
Whenever
hours.
they give you a front facing view, always got to check. So this is footage based on the Fox 32 out of Chicago.
It's not just TikTok in Taiwan. We now have these spy balloons in our airspace. They've been very aggressive over the last few years and have only ratcheted up that aggression. And it's time to take a stand against China. Meanwhile, China claims the balloon was being used by civilians.
I'm just like that. You got to check.
It
make sure.
Drifted into U.S. airspace.
We're looking into and verifying the situation and hope that both sides can handle this together calmly and carefully.
A senior defense official says this is not the first time a foreign government has sent spy balloons over the U.S.
They won't let me.
But what's different is the amount of time this balloon has lingered here. At the Pentagon, Jennifer Griffin, Fox 32,
you okay over
Chicago.
Yeah.
My wife's making weird noises.
Oh.
All right. So,
yeah, I don't know. That's God.
So
Man,
okay, so but the
about jelly and shit, like we as a humanity, as one people under the prime creator need to wake up. We are not alone.
yeah, So I was just like, well, that's an interesting, that's an interesting development. Now, there's also another story. I can't disclose any information. This one's kind of, I'm shutting my phone off. I'm actually going to have to just talk to you guys about it.
Okay.
So,
I'm up to date on a lot of this, man. I've been tracking this shit for a minute too.
yeah, so I've got some contacts that are saying down in Florida, there has been large sonic booms near and northeast of the Orlando area, something like that. That's about all I can give you for information right now. These sonic booms are happening at weird times of the day, and then at nighttime certain people can see this weird glowing object like parked on a hillside, and like one person finally was able to like record it with their phone, and so you can see it looks like a disc-shaped object. And then what's weird about this disc-shaped object though is they're like the way this person's explaining it when I'm watching this video that was passed to me. This person is like telling you that every day they're hearing these sonic booms around the same time, and then at nighttime they look out their window and they can see the ship, right? They just like see it and it's not hiding from them. But then during the daytime you can't see the ship, it's invisible. Like it's like something about nighttime messes up their technology to where they can't protect their ship from being seen or whatever, which makes it so that this person could see it, which is all legit, so I'm paying close attention and keeping my eyes out for other spectators, other people making reports right now. That's what I'm worrying. That's where I'm at in the whole tracking of this one. That's why I said I'm not really going to give out any details about who's passing information around or anything yet. I got this information, so I'm waiting to see more of the information coming to fruition. Like I'd like to see if somebody lives on the other side of the mountain and can see something of a different angle or something,
Right.
or one of the different, because there's like you can clearly see the highway, and then there's a mountain ridge on the other side of a highway, and the UFO is parked. So that's what I can describe for you for what the details are. And they're obviously like in an apartment complex or something, like a couple floors up, and they're still looking up, but they're a couple floors up from, so they can see over the highway system that's right there. Other than that, I don't know what else to say. Like if you guys are getting any kind of weird UFO attacks or anything popping up in your areas.
No, I keep my eyes on my skies on a regular when I'm at work, especially because I work at night. So I go outside and I'm always watching, and I keep up with things you're following too. But I haven't heard anything specific in my area. But I did hear a blip on the radar about people talking about some strange sound in Florida. Sonic boom kind of related. I don't understand why, because sonic boom technology, sonic boom is an effect to the level of technology, right? So when you make it go fast enough, it goes boom. Doesn't sound like anything extraterrestrial. Think about it.
Yep.
So,
And then another topic that's kind of relating to that, the sounds in the sky. Somebody said that they've heard 6 different trumpets. Six different trumpets now.
But this has been happening for a long time. This is another thing I followed.
Okay, so it's been happening for a long time, but what we've been getting is one trumpet, and then we got 2 trumpets, and what they are is they sound different. They're adding up. It's like a different note being played, right?
They're adding up.
So
if you think of playing it out on a keyboard, Mike, you already know what I'm going to say. Each of the notes. How many notes are in the scale, buddy?
7.
You know what I mean? Right? Think about it. This is what's happening. But I've heard a lot of talk about people really trying to hoax this now. They're really pushing it because it's like, why would it happen so frequently? The frequency is what makes this scary. But at the same time, man, the world's about to go through the shitstorm.
Well, it's just funny that right before the sounds happen, a prophecy comes to fruition. Or right after the sounds, a prophecy will come to fruition. So the most recent one that's happened before this sixth was the Euphrates River is dry, dude. That thing's bone dry now. They said there's
Right.
no water. So
The
no
Nile
water.
River, the Nile River
No.
Valley, nothing like it used to be.
So they, and there's a prophecy in biblical scripture that says the angels will rise, the fallen angels will rise out of the Euphrates as it dries. So that's a weird prophecy. Now the Euphrates River is dried, so where are these angels? Then
Right.
we recently have that angel statue that was pulled out of the dirt in Russia.
Yeah. And again,
That's
I
interesting.
will say,
scientific book. Not to be taken completely literally. Some people are like, "Oh, they're waiting for angels." It doesn't mean that. You got to read between the lines. But yeah,
Mhm.
Mike's onto it. They found something where in Russia?
Yeah. So, but like I said, and like what Leprechaun said, and I agreed with Leprechaun, was that we need to know what was buried near or around that.
yeah,
angel.
that was my point. Was
Oh,
I
was it
wanted to
your
know.
point?
Yeah, I wanted to know what was buried around it, underneath it. Like, because something like that, you don't just find something like that by itself. There's got to be some other traces of something buried with it.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Right.
So one of the interesting things is this angel was wrapped in was wrapped in what is known as it's a special kind of cloak.
Yeah.
Everything the angel was, it was weirdly wrapped. It looked like it was wrapped in actual fabric, but the fabric
Yeah.
was petrified. Well, there's like so somebody at one point in time wrote down how to fight angels. Like they found out and knew, and there was a way to fight angels. And one of the ways to fight angels was to like get this cloak over them. And if you could get this cloak over them, it would weigh their wings down and they couldn't open their wings up. And it was like a cursed cloak to the angels, but humans could touch it and use it just fine. Type of a thing. Like a magical item, like a capture spell item. And
Yeah.
But you had to do things. You had to anoint the cloak and certain items and stuff like that. Well, I don't know how. I don't know what that ritual is or anything like that. I'm just saying it exists. There's rituals to anoint things, to do these things, to fight other spiritual entities and stuff. I've been involved in certain parts of the rituals. So
What I'm
moving
wondering
forward,
too is this is the beginning of all the big discoveries coming to light of all the giants and the angels, the Nephilim, the giants. You know what I mean? It's
terminology moving forward is going to be
Big people.
No. What is it? Enlarged hominids.
Okay, because I know we're trying to stay away from keywords.
The term we will use will be for that phrase. Will be for Nephilim, for giant, for anything else. We will refer to them as enlarged hominid.
Got it.
Because we'll stick to that, because that can't be. It's a little harder to test that phrasing. So.
I definitely feel like this is an enlarged hominid unveiling as to the true nature of our species and what we truly came from and what we are capable of, and they've dumbed us down for many, many, many long. We're about to learn some truth, people. I think we're.
I think it's gonna be It's gonna be a pretty cool situation. In the long run, it's gonna rock out.
This is gonna be unworldly. I'll say that again, unworldly.
Yep, definitely.
So, to answer the question you asked not that long ago, Mike, where I live in the Pacific Northwest, had I heard anything about UFOs or sonic booms or anything like that. I'd like to point out that where I live in Canada is the home of the Canadian Pacific Fleet for the Canadian Navy. Bremerton, Washington, which is a major U.S. naval base, is like an hour and a half away. There are major U.S. and Canadian Air Force bases within very short distances of where I live.
Okay.
So as far as have I seen or heard anything about UFOs? No, I haven't. But having said that, there is a very heavy military presence where I live, both Canadian and US. So if there was any kind of unexplained phenomena going on, there's going to be a very quick government response.
Fair answer. Very fair answer. I feel like that doesn't deter them though.
No, I don't think it would deter them, but it's going to be a lot harder for people to take note of things before the armed forces is able to respond. Right? Because it's not uncommon for, especially here in the Pacific Northwest, it's not uncommon for the armed forces, both the US and the Canadian armed forces, to run response drills. And like, how fast can they put aircraft over this city? And
Right.
so it's not uncommon for us here in this city to see U.S. military aircraft overhead, to see Canadian military aircraft overhead, to hear sonic booms from them, turning on the afterburners necessarily, right?
Oh, I mean, where I live, it's no different. We have a military airport less than 20 miles from here.
Yeah.
We get Chinooks once a day that pass over us. Okay, like there's nothing like that's not what I'm saying. Like I'm talking about out of the ordinary. Like we're not talking like have you seen
no,
do you
and
hear
just
sonic booms or anything? I'm saying like out of the ordinary. Are you getting different sounds or anything?
Yeah,
like that?
and that's why I say in this area, not really, but because of the heavy military presence in the area, it's not uncommon to see lights in the sky late at night, and not necessarily are you going to hear aircraft or whatever. There's between the ocean, the area that we are, there's all kinds of weird stuff that goes on. With interaction between the atmosphere and the water and everything else. The Pacific Northwest is kind of a weird place to live. You get all kinds of weird colors in the skies at night and all kinds of different stuff. It's so hard to kind of put your finger on something that is abnormal when it's something that, like, it's not uncommon to see weird lights in the sky. It's just not. So for us here, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, that's weird.
That's where I'm just like, yeah, what do you call weird? Because, man, here in Minnesota, we know what weird is. We know it's not a question of was that weird. It's like, did you see that too?
Yeah.
So yeah.
My cat likes this banana peel. Hey.
Hey, that's kind of weird.
Crazy cat, get out of here.
Let's see.
Yeah, where I live is really quiet. We have a small airport, but nothing major, so it's cool to watch when they bring a C-130 in, because it's right over one of the roads. But it's so quiet, and you can get to a certain spot here in the mountains where I live, and you can see a lot of the sky westward. So at night when the sun goes down, dude, I wish I could take you guys there. It's incredible, and I've had some experiences there, but I have not had any in about a year. It's almost a year. This summer will be a year, so I'm expecting to go hiking again this spring and summer, and be chilling up there in the evening and see what I pick up. Because we're fans of CE5 here, you know, Dr. Career.
Shoot.
Gun-free zones.
Say good.
See, I'm just scrolling through the tickety tockety.
All right, well, I want to thank everyone for coming out today. Today, we're going to provide you with
As soon as my
something
phone
that
cooled
you
down, I
weren't
had
used
much
to,
better.
with respect
much
to
better
congressional investigations, and that's evidence. Committee Republicans have spoken with multiple whistleblowers from numerous schemes involving the Biden family, reviewed Hunter Biden's laptop, and received documents of previously unknown transactions. What we found are business plans aimed at targets around the world based on influence peddling, including with people closely tied to foreign governments like China and Russia. We also found plans based in the United States where the Biden family swindled investors of hundreds of thousands of dollars, all with Joe Biden's participation and knowledge. In 2019, shortly after announcing his campaign for president, Joe Biden told the American people he had nothing to do with and never had conversations with his family about their business dealings. That was a lie. Whistleblowers described President Biden as chairman of the board for these businesses. He personally participated in meetings and phone calls. Documents show that he was a partner with access to an office. To be clear, Joe Biden is the big guy. This evidence, who is shaking the jar? Who is shaking the jar?
Okay,
That
so
didn't just happen.
that was documentation. That was a press release today by the one of the congressional House committees. So that's, you know, just to be clear, that audio you just heard, everybody, was
Republicans in
politicians.
Congress have voted to
Sorry, I was
represent-
listening to that real quick. Basically, what they said was they caught him doing everything that they said the Orange Man did.
Yeah. Huh. Imagine that.
It's just like, wow, rules for thee, but none for me.
I you know, sometimes I kind of envy you guys because your politicians are way more colorful than the ones we get up here.
Oh, no way, dude. Do you want to know what? I actually watch your parliament, and I have to say, your parliament is pretty fantastic, bro.
Oh, there's a lot of shit talking that goes on. Absolutely, especially
it is.
like
Your
but-
parliament is savage, just straight, no holds barred savage. Like, they make Trudeau put his tail between his legs a lot.
Yeah,
That-
well,
that kid
Trudeau's
just freaking-
Trudeau kind of puts himself into it, right? Like, he steps into it and they just feed it to him. That's basically that. But yeah, you guys get way more entertainment out of, like, I get way more entertainment out of watching your guys' politics than watching Canadian politics.
Oh man. Well, there's a lot of drama in our politics, man. It's dumb drama too. It's like, wow, we could have avoided this. We could have avoided it. They said something about that. You know, like, that's how our politics goes. Is like, you know, but your politics up there, wow. Oh man. The First Nations people in Parliament are not afraid to be the first ones to throw the pile of shit on the table and go,
Oh no, they are
"Smell
not.
it." They're like, smell
No.
it. Oh man, it's
The-
bad.
The Aboriginal politicians that we have up here in Canada have absolutely no issues whatsoever with saying, "Oh, this is something your people created." Splat.
Right. Yeah. For me, dude, so I tune in because, okay, there's certain things that goes on in California, in Canada, just like in California, that affect me here in Minnesota, right? So whenever something's going on in Canada, I have to be mindful of it, you know, because as what it happens is it's like a 2 years behind. Like Minnesota's just 2 years behind Canada on whatever Canada does, because how liberal Minnesota votes. No, it's just how liberal Minnesota votes. So they vote so much like Canada does that here we're just 2 years behind. So it's just a little bit of a trickle to get things done. But I just read tonight as I was going through news ops and stuff that the House Committee for Cannabis Use Recreational in Minnesota, it just passed the 6th committee or whatever. So we only have one more committee for it to pass, and then it goes off to become a bill.
For legalization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For full recreational use. So, I mean, like I said, and that's just been a couple years off from what Canada did, right? You know,
yeah.
So
It's been legal here
2.5
I'd like
years?
to say
2019, right?
Yeah, probably 2020. Yeah, 20.
So 4
Yeah,
years.
about then. 4 years,
Yeah,
5 years.
4 years, yeah. So it took us a while. Last year we did the gummies, just like pretty much probably the same route you guys went, where we just did one part of it first just to see. So the gummies, those are okay. They're not bad. They're not horrible, you know. And they're legal. They're legit. But so yeah, I mean, just moving forward on that is a good thing for all the people, especially for trade. We'll be able to do so much better because we'll be able to take the leftover of the plant and make things out of it and stuff and trade with it, and it'll be a good thing, you know, because like being able to make clothing and being able to make houses with it is really good. Like that's super cool.
Yeah,
absolutely.
see, here in Canada though, the reason for legalization was a little bit different. Their reason for legalization was, okay, we're going to legalize it, but we are then going to tax the ever-living crap out of it, just like they've done with tobacco and alcohol.
So here in Minnesota, when they legalize it here, they have no choice but to allow us to grow it ourselves. So you can't tax it. You can't tax it if you can grow it.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is here, if you're using it for recreation, you can grow it at your own home, but you're limited. And the minute you step over the limited amount, so I think, and I don't know because I don't use it, so I may be wrong. I think the personal limitations are you can have 3 plants in a home for 3 plants for each person over the legal age.
Oh, that's different. Up here, or here in Minnesota, what they're introducing is different. I read the bill. What they're introducing here is interesting. You can have up to 12 plants, but only 3 of them can be producing flower at a time. So you can have like generations. You can have a 2-week-old plant, a 4-week-old plant, a 6-week-old plant, or something like that. Some stuff like that. And so only the older ones will flower first. And so it's like they planned that for you. But
no, the way they did it up here is it doesn't matter what stage the plant is at. You're only allowed 3, I believe. But the aim was to A, the taxation of it, but B, also to kind of kill the black market, to get rid of, pot dealers.
Yeah.
And,
well, it's to snuff out the Southern cartel. Okay, the cartel south of the border.
But up here in BC, not up here in BC.
In America, does. So that's what I was saying here in America. That's what it does. So I could imagine the reason why they would legalize it up there is so that people here on this side of the border will tourist up there, hang out and spend money and pay on your taxes. You understand? And
Yeah,
that's
but
that's all I'm saying. Because you go to Vancouver, man, British
Oh, yeah.
Columbia, all that stuff. Have a good time, dude. You know what I mean? Don't worry. You know,
But-
like.
But
I
the people,
understand.
the thing is up here is that even though the government has legalized it the industry is so heavily regulated that what you can purchase legally is still nowhere as strong as what you can get black market.
Well,
So all they've done, they haven't really.
They're selling 3-2 weed.
Yeah. So they haven't actually accomplished their goal of kind of snuffing out that black market aspect. They've actually just driven more people to it because the cost
like I said, what it was it opens up the whole. They have no choice but to create the free market.
Yeah.
So when you open it up into that free market, yeah, you're not going to get all the sales. You're not going to, but there's going to be those people who are so square they never knew anybody, and they're just going to go to the black market, or they're going to go to the proper market and pay their taxes. Okay,
Yeah.
To a dispensary and pay their taxes. As to where, if you do have people who, were heavy into the black market usage beforehand, they're probably going to still stick to the black market usage for the most part. Some people, I would imagine some people would want to switch to the legal market just so that they could have some tax stamps that say they own it legally. You know what I mean? Because that's probably part of the program, and you don't want to mess up on having those stamps on your possession. Here in Minnesota, what the proposed law is besides the 12 plants or whatever you can have, you can also have up to 2 pounds of processed marijuana in your house. Processed meaning dried and ready to smoke. You can only have up to an ounce of processed condensed marijuana, and then you can have in your house. Now on your person, you can have up to 2 ounces of flour, or I think it's like 7 grams of concentrate on your person in public. So that's what you can have on you in public. That's what's being proposed in the Minnesota bill. And I think that's that's fair, because then it's like, somebody instead rolls up a pack of J's and walks around with 20 J's on them. That's less than an ounce, so you won't get in trouble, and the rule will be just like smoking cigarettes. Don't smoke inside buildings, don't smoke in restaurants, and smoke outside. Walk down the street and smoke, do whatever you want. That's what the rule will be. And then no littering, obviously, as well,
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. It's from my perspective, I don't, I mean, from my perspective, I don't really see the legalization of marijuana here in Canada as really accomplishing any of the tasks that they wanted.
I could see it accomplishing a lot more, though, because, I mean, now they don't have to waste resources on a guy that's peddling pot. You know what I mean? Like,
But
they can hit him with a different charge now, is what it is, and it's a better charge to hit him with. So now they're going to hit you with racketeering and tax evasion, which is a much better charge to hit you with.
No, they'll still hit you with intent to traffic or possession, because the amounts that individuals are allowed to have on their own is significantly less than what you would think. So lots of people are still being picked off by the police for carrying too much, and then they're being hit with intent to traffic.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can understand that, you know, but well, that's just what I'm saying is like with Minnesota's laws, the way they're writing them so that the small time business person can utilize those laws
Yeah.
and get off the ground and make something and move themselves into a larger tax paying bracket. You know, that's where they're designing it here in Minnesota. Like I said, I don't know what Canada's rules are. I don't know how much you can have in Canada. I don't know what you can grow, what you can have, like all that stuff. So, but I was reading the Minnesota proposal for the reason of that because I was so curious as to what they were going to offer the people of Minnesota, and I was like, hey, 2 ounces to travel's just fine with me, man. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
Well,
You're not going to
no, and I agree with you, but I just know living in British Columbia, there's a lot of weed around here.
I bet. I can imagine so. All right, let's see. It's getting late. Pew, pew, pew. Yeah. So I really don't have much else to go on for the night. Like I said, so Leprechaun didn't bounce or didn't show up. Oops, hiccup. So yeah, I think we're gonna just go ahead and call it a night for tonight.
All right, guys.
All right.
Yeah. But you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you Sunday.
All right.
Sunday fun day.